I think my age might have played a factor, but it's really hard to gauge because, like, for example, let's say I get introed to an investor, and if they see my age and don't respond, I have no idea. But I think in general, it probably didn't matter either way. I think the great thing about investors is that they're just so financially motivated, right? They're return based, right? They're literally, their performance is a single number, which means that I don't think they really care about not just age but gender or race. Like, they're just going to invest, I think, if they think they're going to get a return on it. And so I hope they judge maybe me as an individual, maybe my experience, maybe my track record, but I don't think my age played a factor into the equation. So I think there are a few things that helped me out a lot when I was raising money in terms of just how fast it happened and the kind of caliber of investor I was able to get. One was that I had a lot of relationships with investors before I wanted to raise money, just from building a lot of side projects and blogging and tweeting and all these things. Like, investors will start to track you automatically if they think you're eventually going to do your own company. It's kind of their job. So I had enough people that were like interested that when I left my previous company, it was pretty easy and like to get a lot of meetings lined up because all of these people were kind of pinging me anyways. Like when I tweeted out that I was doing my own thing now, I got like 50 to 100 emails from investors that are like, "Hey, do you want to talk?" And investing is it's very momentum based. So if you have a lot of trust and you have previous relationships, it's a lot faster. But two, it's just so fast, right? Like, most investment meetings, you sit down with someone for an hour and then they invest like $100,000, right? Like an hour into $100,000. Like, that's a very difficult decision to make. But what I had, I think, was that they knew me before. They could read my blog, so the relationship, that we had was a lot longer than an hour. So someone could go back and be like, okay, this kid was talking about building products really passionately a year and a half ago. He's just not making this up for an hour pitch, and I think that helped a lot. Yeah, so for me, when I was thinking about leaving USC, right, my initial roadmap in terms of my career was get a degree, 4 years, get a degree, join a big company or a medium-sized company for, work there for a year or two, then join an early-stage startup, work there for a year or two, and then found my own company, right? So that was like a 7-year plan before I wanted to start my own company. And I started getting a bunch of kind of full-time job offers from startups in the Valley, and I was like, wow, I could actually potentially save 5 to 6 years of my career, if this was my path. And actually, the bigger thing is, like, I didn't even know if I wanted to start a company. Like a lot of these people, they watch The Social Network and they're like, I want to start a company. But I was like, I don't know. I just want to build stuff. And maybe starting a company is the best way to do that, and maybe it's not. And I didn't want to waste or spend at least 6 to 7 years of my life to figure that out. If I could leave USC for a semester or a year or however long amount of time and figure that out now. So that was my kind of decision, was like, okay, like, does it make sense for me to take at least a semester off of school to learn if startups is like a fun thing to do. People say it is, but I really wanted to experience it, to learn if starting a company was something I could potentially do myself. Even if I wanted to, it requires a lot of skills that I think I might not have had, or there's no way to really know. And it was just a semester. I wasn't like I'm out, like I'm not ever coming back. It was like, I'm just going to take a semester off, half a year, and that could potentially impact my life forever. Like, it's totally worth it, and if things don't go well, I can go back. So I was not, hopefully I wasn't like rash, I didn't run to a decision. I took a few weeks to figure it out and make sure that I wasn't, being dumb about leaving school. And I think it made sense, and my parents understood my decision-making process and they were comfortable with it. So I think it worked out for everyone.